Hey guys, it's several days later since we were working to install the heater box on the Mustang here. And in doing that, got it all put in, learned a couple of lessons along the way as you've seen. And then I got to trying to hook up the blower motor and was having issues. Um, it wouldn't run. Pardon me, have an itch. So I've been trying to troubleshoot that. I did find a great video online on YouTube from MacGyver 7.5, his channel, on how to troubleshoot the blower motor. And I really wanted to do this because I didn't want to pull the whole heater box back out again. So I'm going to show you what he demonstrated. I'll also make sure to try to include a link somewhere, up there, or yeah, I guess it'll appear up there. Anyway, somewhere up here. To his video as well, so you can go back and check his out, see, give him credit where credit is due and that kind of thing. So we'll bring you in here and show you the steps. So if you ever have to do this yourself, you can figure it out. And it really turned out to be something very, very simple, as always. But anyway, to save you some aggravation and headache, let's go take a look. Okay, so what you can see here is obviously the heater box here. This is the resistor. Now, I'm going to pop up a diagram here and show you how this works. But basically, you've got power that comes from the fuse box, and that power in the form of, on the American Auto wire, a kind of a purplish grayish wire comes out and runs through the firewall to the blower motor, and that comes into the positive side of the blower motor. That 12 volts comes in through the blower motor, then out through the negative side or the other side of that into this yellow wire here that comes through the firewall. That connects to the resistor here. And the resistor, at least as I understand it, controls the speed of the motor by increasing the resistance to the flow of electricity through the circuit. Now, that sounds big fancy talk like I know what I'm saying. I don't really know. That's my best guess. Okay? So it flows through the resistor, so you get 12 volts coming in through here, and then that connects and comes out of the top of the resistor into this plug here with the 3 wires. Those 3 wires in the American Auto wire harness are blue, red, and gray or black with a yellow stripe. Okay, that comes into your switch here, or your controls. This part back here, the top lever, being your switch, right? And then you can see there's the red, the blue, and there is that black or gray one with the yellow stripe. And of course, this plugs in to that here. So this originally had a different connector on it. It was a traditional 3-plug Ford connector that got snipped off and this American Auto wire connector put on. So all of this goes together. Now, what you'll see is I've got the car with power on, and as I'm moving the switch, nothing is happening. Now, I tested, I do have 12 volts coming up to the wire, the yellow wire there, so I know I'm getting power to that point. And I've tested again with that probe I showed you. Well, matter of fact, let me stop real quick. I'll go get the probe and demonstrate that for you. Okay, so back with the probe here, so I'm going to ground it. Got a good screw up in here. Let's see, over here better. Oops. Pardon me, I'm going to get in the way, I think, but gotta get this grounded. There we go. So I hooked the ground up to the support that goes up to the cowl and supports this part of the dash. And so to prove that I have power, I need to disconnect this anyway. Let's see if I See that lighting up? So I know I've got power there. I plug that in. And I come up here to the switch. See, power is coming through there, there, and there. So I know I'm getting power to the switch, which means these wires here are good. Now that should tell me the resistor is also good, because that means power is coming from the yellow through here back to the switch. But for the sake of troubleshooting, let's assume that maybe that's not true. So what I'm going to do now, go ahead and pull out, disconnect my probe or test light, whatever you want to call it. And the first thing I want to do is, just to make sure the blower motor works, is I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the yellow here, right? And then I'm going to ground it to the chassis. So I'm going to take a little alligator clip wire here, connect it to the same place I was just grounding the probe, this screw here. That's going to give me a ground to the chassis of the car. And then if I touch, I don't know if you can hear that, but the blower motor is running. So that's telling me that power coming from the fuse box to the blower motor is good, and that this wire connection from the motor to this point is definitely good. Okay, so that's completed the circuit. So I know the motor's good. I know the wiring to this point is good. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is check, is this resistor gone bad? So to do that, I'm going to unplug this connection to the switch from the resistor, plug the ground wire, if I can keep it hooked up. To the bottom prong on the resistor, the single prong on the bottom where the yellow wire was plugged into. And then I'm going to take the yellow wire here and go and touch it, each one of the prongs here. So this controls the motor speed, these three. So this one is low, medium, and high. So if I go and I just touch it, it's low, that's medium, and high. Okay, so I now know the resistor's good, power's flowing through it. So the next part is to check the switch. Okay, well, at this point I know that something's wrong with the switch. Okay, so now I looked at it here, and none of these connections, let's see, get where you can see it, seem particularly dirty or corroded. They look pretty good in there, so it could be a problem, but the switch, as I'm clicking it through the positions, looks pretty good. So I don't think, and since I was able to get power touching each one of those, I think that's good. Now, one thing I didn't realize here until watching the video was that this whole unit acts as the ground for the heater system. So this must be grounded to the chassis for it to work. So if we just, like as I demonstrated a minute ago, I'm going to rehook everything back the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to disconnect my ground here for a second. Plug the yellow wire back where it's supposed to go, which is right there on the bottom. Come back with this connector here where it's supposed to go, right there at the top. And I'm sorry if my head is in the way, I can't see, and this is the fun of shooting when you're by yourself. So I've got that connector on. So again, move the switch, nothing happens, but watch this. I'll hook my ground wire up just somewhere on this plate, and then go back hook it to that same screw I've been using. There's low, medium, and high. So the whole problem was not really a problem. I just didn't have things grounded properly because I didn't know. Gotta love it. So anyway, I did just want to show you all that. So there was nothing wrong with the system. I just was stupid. So that's good news because it means I've got everything right and I don't have to worry about it. But yay, pretty excited about that. That means I can continue with reassembling everything. I'm going to take you up front just to show you the wires. I've still got some cleanup up there to do. I'm going to turn the power off, disconnect this, and let's go up front and show you how the blower motor is hooked up there just so you can see it. Okay, so we're back up here under the hood. You can see there is the blower motor there. It's got two. This is a brand new motor, right? The old one was kind of trash, so I got a new one. When I rebuilt the heater box, it's got two wires, a blue one and a black one. So the brown gray color wire here that comes from the American Auto Wire harness, and it is labeled with the heater motor or heater blower on it. I don't know if you can see it right. There, yeah, heater feed, AC feed. So that goes into the blue one, and then the yellow one goes into the black one. So that is what closes that circuit in there. So I have a lot of tidying up to do. I have a lot more wire here. I should have waited to put connectors on it when it was. I still may come back and clean this up, snip it off. I've got some more barrel connectors I can use. So we'll see. Either that, I'll just wind it up because I am planning to put AC in this car at some point, and I might need the addition, so I may just spool it up. I can pull it back through. Anyway, I'll figure that out. So there we have it. We've got the heater box installed now, so we're one step closer to being done. Or at least able to drive the car. Still got a long way to go before we're done. But I'm very excited to get to this point. It's nice to get things going back on the car. My good friend over at the Grease Monkey Garage channel, he said, you know, you need some get her done fuel to really go through these projects. And sorry about the rattling, but we got laundry going upstairs. And that's absolutely true. There are times when you work on these cars that all you feel like you're doing is tearing things apart. You just take it off, taking this apart, and then finding more problems, and then there's another problem, and so on. So to move forward, get something installed, solve a problem pretty quickly, easily, and find out that it's really not a problem. It's just a lack of learning where you got to figure something out. Hey, it's great. Makes you feel good. Feels like you're making steps in the right direction. Especially after the week I've had. A lot of work stuff going on, which is good. Been busy. I was up to 3 a.m. last night working, but also came out earlier this week and found gas pouring out of the gas tank underneath the seal. We had our first cold spell, so the seal on the sending unit has failed. Luckily, it's the O-ring seal, not something else. So I was able to save most of the gas, thank God, but I got to deal with that again. I thought I was done dealing with the gas tank, but yeah, that's what it is with these old cars. So that, guys, please leave comments, suggestions on anything I've done. If you've got ideas on how to do things better, always open to it. Like I said, this is not what I do regularly. I'm a computer guy, so any tips, tricks will be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel. We're at 105 subscribers now, so we actually got our custom channel domain with a 67 Stang in there, so we're excited by that. So with that, guys, again, hope y'all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Looking forward to the holiday season, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Thanks. Bye. Okay, for those that stuck around to the very end, thought I'd throw a little surprise in here. So again, heater box is hooked up. And notice the light there, the light here. So I got the courtesy lights hooked up. They're included with the American Auto Wire kit. That's not something that was in here originally. All I had was that, the good old dome light. So now I have courtesy lights down here. That's pretty cool. Also, pull back. Started putting dash together. Isn't that cool? And then over here, I got my heater control, right? The fan. All hooked up. And then I've got the controls. I got new control cables for the heater. The only problem is, here we can see it, I'm missing the clip that clips the cable for the defrost controller on. I don't know where I put it. I swear I thought I saw it somewhere, but I don't know. Anyway, they're not big, not a big deal. I can get them. So anyway, well, that is truly the end. See y'all in the next one.